In tonight's special report, documents obtained by KTSM show in-custody deaths at the El Paso County detention facility. They are on the rise.
That's right. KTSM 9 News reporter Stephanie Shields reviewed autopsy reports revealing how these people died in custody. A warning to some viewers, the story includes details about suicide, which can be upsetting for some.
The El Paso County detention facility, responsible for holding and supervising up to 1,500 people accused of a crime.
It's probably the riskiest and most dangerous thing that a county government engages in.
According to public records, from 2010 to 2015, 14 people died while in custody of the El Paso County detention facility. From 2016 to 2022, 33 deaths for an 136% increase, and half of those deaths happening from 2020 to 2022. Former El Paso County Commissioner Vince Bettis saying during his tenure, he pushed for jail reform.
This is why people need to pay attention to these types of issues. Cases can be very costly when they go to trial. If there's an individual that dies in the custody of the county, you can bet that there's going to be some sort of lawsuit that follows. And taxpayers are often going to be on the hook for that.
KTSM looked into the most recent deaths in the last 2 years, some dying from medical-related complications, COVID-19, and natural deaths. But reports show 8 people died from suicide or drug overdoses.
All the families I represent say they want the same thing, and it's very elusive, and it's the word justice.
Dean Malone, representing the family of Azalia Giselle Corral, a 22-year-old woman who killed herself in El Paso County's custody. The family filing a federal lawsuit.
When she was arrested, there's just a long list of warning signs. And she indicated she had attempted suicide before, she was depressed.
According to jail reports, Corral attempted to jump off the second floor of the jail, telling officials she thought about killing herself. She was then placed into a 15-minute observation watch in a holdover cell, where she was reportedly crying during her third check around 7:30 in the evening. 7 minutes later, she was seen hanging from her jail-issued pants.
They knew the issue. They knew that she was suicidal. They knew she needed a suicide smock. And they literally left her alone in a cell.
Corral's autopsy reports traces of nirdiazepam, fentanyl, and norfentanyl detected in her blood at the time of her death.
I think it was a confluence of a lot of people not doing the right thing. And looking back into the history of what's going on at the El Paso County Jail and a lot of the other deaths that have occurred there and the deaths that have occurred in the past over a period of years, I think it's just a systematic policy and custom failure.
KTSM spoke with 2 other families who did not want to speak on camera, but they say they're looking for answers as drugs were also found in their loved ones' systems. Gilbert Nunez, his cause of death reported as a suicide. His autopsy report stating he had a mix of different drugs, including fentanyl, anti-seizure meds, and antipsychotics. Nunez, with a history of mental and physical problems dating back to his original booking in 2020, was reportedly under a 30-minute suicide watch at the time of his death this January. And last December, 2 people died on the same day within 1 hour of each other, both with fentanyl found in their systems.
And that is one of the big challenges at this point in time in regards to how contraband is able to enter a facility.
Brandon Wood with the Texas Commission on Jail Standards saying counties must report a death within 24 hours where it is then investigated. He says one of the biggest challenges county jails face is those struggling with mental illness.
By the time that they reach the county jail, we've already missed at least 2 opportunities to divert those individuals.
According to a 2019 report from the Department of Justice, at 49 deaths per 100,000 inmates, suicide was the leading single cause of death for jail inmates of that year.
Even if you had, the perfect system, you're still going to have deaths. It's still a very dangerous environment. But, the important thing is, do you have elected officials who look at that, who take responsibility, take ownership, take action to correct that problem, and ultimately do whatever they can to prevent these types of deaths from occurring in the future?
KTSM requested several interviews with El Paso County Sheriff Richard Wiles, his office declining after saying, since we spoke with families and attorneys of those who died in custody because of possible civil litigation, county policy is to not comment on such matters. Stephanie Shields, KTSM 9 News.
And the county attorney's office tells KTSM the county has settled a total of 3 lawsuits within the last 10 years arising from deaths in the county jail.